Okay, next batch of questions are from MLP. Friendship is Witchcraft for the
we
win.
we know
I'm
we know this
shocked that he
person.
asked questions. Yeah. Never heard from him before.
Oh,
Who is it?
first question is, do you use any actual witchcraft to make the show so good?
Of course.
Yes.
So yes. The answer is yes.
Moving on.
Why else?
Uh-huh.
Why else would it be called magic?
Have you ever built a real book for it? And if so, what did you name it?
Have we ever built a real one? No.
Well, speak
But
for yourself.
Okay, well,
Mine was called Fort and Peace. So
oh, that's a good one.
How did you
That's a
come up
good
with
one.
that?
it
by
was
the way?
giant. It was a giant book fort.
Now I need to come up with a good book font, and I remember we made a huge list, but now I can't.
did.
They're escaping me.
There were cleverer ones. I'm like looking at my
There's
aunt's shelves for inspiration, but the only has cat mysteries.
1984.
1984. There you go.
Yeah, there's a ton. People, I think a list was made for us of all the book puns,
Yeah.
and that was a lot of fun. I'm gonna vent right now. I'm gonna vent because
Go
this
for
has
it.
always bothered me. So we did the thing with the book fort, right? We had the, and that was in May or something, May or June, I forget. It was over the summer, and then like a month later, 2 months later, there's this image of Twilight in a little book fort.
That was so cute.
Two images come out right after one after the other. One is like the like book fort, come in, this is lobster, something like that. It was like lobster rarity and book fort Twilight, and there was that image, and then there was one of Twilight like in the little book fort, and she's like, I'm protected in the books, and they were really cool images, and the whole time I was thinking like, is this inspired by Friendship is Witchcraft or not? Because I couldn't really tell.
I think the
But
answer was no.
The answer, I don't know. Yeah, the answer would be, but it just irks me because it was like we came up with the book for an idea, and then now it seems like in retrospect, people who hadn't seen this series before in May and are just now learning about it, deciding to watch episode 1, seeing the book for gag, and like, oh, that famous image. This is a very fandom orientated project. People already think that. Like when Rainbow Dash has that line like, do you think spiders can dream? Several people thought that was a reference to Spiders or whatever. Yeah,
Spiders
not.
is, yeah.
It's
And we
not.
wrote that before Spiders is came out.
I've never heard that before. And then when I was recording the lines for Sweetie Belle, where she goes around the table, it spins around the table 3 times, and she goes, cutie mark acquisition program. That was before Lesson 0 had even aired.
Before that, I really like her main triple repetition.
Then in the episode, she says, I really like your main 3 times. It was the same sort of premise for the joke, and it was
We're like, she's dumb and she repeats things, and we were like,
Yeah.
but we already wrote that before. And then no one will believe us because the episode comes out after.
Everyone, people won't believe that we. And there's
It's
at
kind
least
of
one
like
more.
Rarity now. Her fashion is entirely giant hats, and like that was kind of a joke. Like she had large hats, but she also mainly made dresses.
Yeah.
And now
So
suddenly
now-
it's all giant hats. There's even that episode like, will a fabulous giant hat cheer you up? And it's like, okay, wow,
Yeah, that was
the show is
episode
becoming
more
parody.
So, yeah. So people
And
in
Circle
retro.
of Friends was eerie.
Yeah. Okay, that's another weird thing. We had a live stream, and we watched this really lame Gem Riders
Princess
like
Starla and the Jewel Riders. It was
Starla
this
and
weird
Starla.
90s
It was
program.
awful.
Yeah, I know that.
It's really bad, and we were laughing at it. And they had this song at the end called "Circle of Friends," and they kept saying "jump
We
in
made
the
fun of Circle of
jump
Friends.
in the circle," and we thought they were saying "jump in the turtle." It was really funny. So
It was like this inside joke thing, and then we referenced it in the Spike's Big Day short. We said his book was called Circle of Friends in the description and everything. And then the new Equestrian National Anthem, they say they're a circle of friends, which isn't even that common a phrase. It was just really scary. At first they say we're a circle of pony friends, and I was like, oh, that's very similar. And then they're like, we're a circle of friends. Like, they reiterate it and make it exactly the same. And it's like, okay, that's terrifying.
yeah.
The universe is just repeating itself over and over.
So now when people go to the Friendship is Witchcraft short, they probably won't look at the day it was uploaded, but they'll look at the description and they'll see that Spike's book is called Circle of Friends, and they'll think it's a reference to the Equestrian National Anthem, which is sort of funny, but still, it's weird because it's like, it makes it seem like we're like fandom orientated, like we're, you know, I'm not trying to say that we're not fandom orientated, but like we're trying to come up with original jokes. We're not trying to be derivative. Yeah. So when we have that can spiders dream joke, people who know of Spider-Sis are going to be like, ugh, they reference Spider-Sis. You know, if you're one of those people that don't like the fandom references, and we, you know, totally don't want to be that type of person.
Yeah.
The only thing we're guilty of really is the Nyx cutie mark. And that was like could not resist. Yeah. It's like we wanted to put an OC on an Apple Bloom because we thought that would be funny for Twilight. You know, because our Twilight is very funny.
Yeah.
She's a fangirl.
She's a fan. She's more than a fangirl. There's a lot of things going on, but one of her things definitely would be if she would definitely be a lover of past sins, and she would probably have written past sins. Because in past sins, I have only read part of it, but she's the mother figure of Nyx, something like that. Anyway, she's the mommy, so of course our Twilight would love Nyx.
Yeah, she would. She would adore it. She'd have a printed physical copy of Past Sins on her bookshelf.
She'd probably read the other one, Fallout Equestrian too.
Yeah, that one's probably fun. If I was going to read one, that would probably be it.
That one's crazy long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even play like Fallout. I just think it sounds like fun. It's weird.
I don't know. I've heard it's really grim, dark, and there's a lot of
prolific world scenario, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
ponies. Everyone stop writing pony sex scenes. It's creepy. I'm just gonna say it right now. There's no like gray area even. It's just creepy. That's what it is. Sorry. You get like a button like congratulations. Oh god.
Alrighty, the next question. Alright, can you talk about what eye candy is for a bit, or how you came up with that?
Should we even do that?
It was just a running gag. Yeah, I mean, we should probably clarify because we get this a lot. It's not like a reference or an inside joke. It's literally just the gag was that there are a lot of eye-oriented things happening in that episode, and it's making fun of those shows where they have terrible puns. And I don't know, just through repetition, it got more and more absurd, where everyone in the episode at some point says, talk about eye candy. So that's it.
Yeah.
It's very surface level. People think there's like something they don't understand, but it's very like straightforward.
Yeah. I think the best way to explain the joke is that it's a running gag, but it's a forced running gag, and that's why it's funny.
Yeah.
Like the fact that it keeps happening is why it's funny. People are like, I don't get it, but it's like the fact that they keep saying eye candy, they're not communicating with each other, right? They're not saying, it's not like one heard them say eye candy and now if they started it. It's like literally they are all saying talk about eye candy. Like they're coming up with this line.
Like it's this incredibly common phrase to them, and
it's a phrase to them, but it's not very
strange.
common. And then it breaches that surreal moment where Applejack says, "You two be our bird's eye candy view," and it's like, why would she
and like
say
you're
that?
in the eye candy of the storm, where it's like they're just mutating real phrases. And it's not like they communicated with each other to all say eye candy. So from like Applejack's perspective, who had been absent the whole episode, the fact that she even said eye candy is one of those surreal moments where it's like, why would she even do that? And that's where the humor comes into play. Just
I
the
think
realist
people hear
humor, like we were talking about.
So,
I think people worry that it's like a reference to something they're not getting, but it's not. It's just a reference to itself within the episode.
Alrighty. The next question. Are you too mad that Friendship is Magic keeps ripping you off?
Yes.
Was this just written?
I know, right?
Sort of, yeah. I mean, Rarity's got all these giant hats now, and it seems like that is her character.
Yeah. I mean, some of them you almost feel like, oh, that must be a reference, but it's obviously not because of when these were written. So it's more just scary because you're like, oh, that's odd that they had the same idea.
Some of the jokes write themselves too, like when Twilight had her birthday party and the episode Sweet and Elite where she has the birthday party and Spike is nowhere to be seen. Like she didn't invite to her birthday.
Yeah. And there's that hilarious image circulating of him, like he's thrown at a party and he's just alone in the dark. That was adorable.
And to think that Rainbow Dash gave Spike a dumbbell for his birthday, implying maybe he has a weak grip. And
yes.
And also Rainbow Dash now having these sunglasses everywhere and seeing as she's like almost legally blind in our
She's
theory.
blind and blind people wear sunglasses. It's kind of perfect.
It's so a lot of the jokes are writing themselves at this point. It's really weird. And basically my fear is that people aren't watching Friendship is Witchcraft, like too many people are watching it after the fact and are going to think that the giant hat joke came about like because of episodes like Sweet and Elite where she's got a lot of hats, where it's like, no, that was before season 2 even.
That was already there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's sort of fun to be here and watching the Friendship is Witchcraft jokes kind of unfold in the series. But I do get really like flustered or whatever when I see comments where it's like, you know, oh, you referenced this episode, or even like referencing TF2. So many people are like, I love the giant hat Team Fortress 2 reference. It's like,
I didn't even know that was a thing in Team Fortress 2. I don't play it. I'm sure it's prominent, and I would know if I played it.
So
there are very little references, and if they are, they're supposed to be sort of like a, you know, if you catch it, then it's all in good fun kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like when Fluttershy fall in the Dragon Shy episode where she falls off the cliff, you know, the sound effect of her falling is straight from Mirror's Edge, right, when you fall off a building. So, like, that was me sort of wanting a sound effect, but it's sort of a fun, and the sirens in Ponyville are from Silent Hill. Like, those are references, clearly. But they're sort of like, it's not like that's the joke. It's like, I need a sound effect. And
here's an Easter egg, kind of.
Here's an Easter egg.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Like if people catch it, then that's
if
fun.
People know, it'd be like, oh, it's Silent Hill. But no, we would never just do Team Fortress 2 giant hats. We do reference some things. I mean, we're not
like Code Lyoko.
We reference Code Lyoko. We reference the Wicker Man.
Lots of Wicker Man.
You love obviously Hellfire, the Hunchback of Notre Dame. So we're not saying we don't reference anything. But I'm saying that our references are a little bit more...
They're kind of offbeat, the references.
Offbeat and a little more sort of sophisticated. Like they have, there's a real reason we're referencing them. It's not entirely related. It's not just because, we really like this thing and we want to reference it.
Next question. Okay. What can you... And this is all still from MLP for the win. What can you tell us about Molestopia and its leader?
We do have jokes in mind. We're not going to talk about it yet, though, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah? Okay. All right.
Yep.
Will we ever get to read Diamond in the Rough?
Well,
maybe. I've thought about writing it before.
Yes, you can, because on Equestria, again, this always happens.
Someone did it. That's right. That's a title.
There's a fanfic on Equestria Daily the other day that got published. It actually got published at EQD, so apparently it's pretty good. And it's shipping between Rarity and Applejack, and it's called Diamond in the Rough. It apparently has nothing to do with Friendship is Witchcraft. It's just someone else.
It's just a pun that makes so much sense for the pairing that someone used it.
So yeah, again, more moments.
But yeah, I was thinking for a while of literally just writing like a mediocre quality fanfic and submitting it as Twilight Sparkle, and then if people realized it was the Friendship is Witchcraft Twilight, that would be fun. I want to. I know. We've been thinking about that since the episode came out. So maybe at some point, because that would be really fun, because I've read a lot of bad fiction, it would be fun to use kind of the subtler bad things that they do. So, yep.
Right.
Okay. Did you lose anyone close to you in the Great Equestrian War?
Yes.
Well,
and that's a sensitive subject.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't lose anyone, but Jenny did. So it's kind of like,
Yeah, I was closer to the front.
Yeah, I was. I mean, that was when I was, I was overweight. I was in the back,
Didn't even get drafted.
Operating the radio. They wouldn't let me on because I couldn't do the physical fitness portion.
Yeah, I was drafted, and I saw a lot of things that I'll never forget.
I didn't see anything, so I have forgotten them in the sense that I don't know what they look like.
Yeah, some people just had it easy, but yeah, I think we'll move past that because I don't like to talk about the war. Makes me reminisce about times I'd rather forget.
Okay.
All right.
Clueless on that question, but okay.
Funny.
Just how weak is Spike's grip?
Very weak.
That idiot can't even hold a glass without dropping it.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Oh my god, and then I make him pick it up in his mouth as punishment, because then that'll teach him not to do it again. And his mouth can grip things pretty well, so if he picks up the shards that way, he can clean your floor pretty efficiently.
What was Spike's epic fantasy trilogy about?
It was about a young dragon discovering the prophecy that told of his powers and discovering that he was destined to save all of Equestria with the help of his dear friends.
Yeah.
Who were so supportive of him.
Exactly. It's about friendship. It's about a dragon who moves to, a small town. He's an assistant to this bookish girl. The dragon doesn't fit in right away, but over time, he starts to make friends and prove himself that he's a powerful and great dragon.
And after he saves the world, they throw him a party, and they tell him how special he is to them and what a good friend he is. And they all get him presents for all the birthdays they missed.
It's a heartwarming story. And this dragon, he has very special skills, too. For example, he's a fabulous singer. He's a fabulous actor. He
can dance. He's a triple threat.
Yeah, he has an incredibly strong grip. He can just hold things really well. And there's this scene where he's got to, save this girl named Twilight, unrelated, from falling to her death. And he grabs her arm, and she says, "Thank you, Spike. You're my best friend." And then he lifts her up with.
She says, "You have such a strong grip."
Yeah, with his powerful arms. So it's a really sweet story that Spike wrote, but it's gone now. He didn't make any extra copies of it, so it's gone.
Aww.
Yeah, he had to hand write it because Twilight used his typewriter for her own writing so often that he just gave it to her as a gift. It wasn't even a holiday, but he just put a bow on it and said, "You need it more than I do. I want you to have it." It's very sweet.
Indeed.
Yeah, Spike's such a great guy.
He's really nice.
He's just really
when he's not being worthless. Anyway.
Yeah. Such a pushover.